Greetings, good morning. My trail name is Tie-Dye, and I am starting a 4-day, 3-night shakedown hike in preparation for my Appalachian Trail through hike in 2025. Miss Tie-Dye just dropped me off at Carver's Gap and is going to pick me up in a couple days down at Laurel Fork Falls. So it's Monday, April 15th. Hope you got your taxes done. And I'm heading on up to Round Bald. Wow, I couldn't have asked for better weather today. Clear skies, 60 degrees. It's just beautiful up here. So I'm on Round Bald. My goal today is to get to Doll Flats. So I've got to climb over Jane Bald there, and then over Little Hump over there, and of course over Big Hump right there. That's a pretty good hike to get over Big Hump. So lots of question marks in my gear. I am concerned about my sleeping bag and my shoes, so I'll talk a little bit about that as I go. But I know the trail here pretty well. I've hiked it several times. I've done trail maintenance on it several times, so I'm trying to take the trail variable off the table so I can just focus on my gear. Again, I could not have asked for a more beautiful day today. Okay, Far Out says we are at 382.7. So if you're planning a trip to Grassy Ridge and you're interested in mileage, that's where we are, where the turnoff is to Grassy Ridge. It's an awesome hike up there. I've done it several times. Great place for a picnic up there. Miss Tie-Dye and I actually fell asleep one afternoon and woke up when it was dark. But I'm not going up there today. I'm heading to Doll Flats, so I'm following the white blazes off to my left. Shoe doggies. That climb up to Big Hump Mountain is no joke. But check out these views. Yeah, Grandfather Mountain right there. Back there, way in the distance, right over there. I think I got my finger on the right spot. It's Mountain Riders. Those thru hikers, I guess they'll be there in about 2-3 weeks. Of course, there's Roan Mountain, and where I started, Round Bald. All right, I've got 2.5 miles to get down to where I'm going to camp tonight, and I don't think I've got any more hills to climb, so I can just stumble down the mountain. All right, let me see if I can close out the day. It was an 11.8 mile trip across the Roan Highlands, and I'm at Doll Flats where I plan to spend the night. Got my tent all set up, ready to go. Just hope it doesn't blow away. Greetings, good morning. It's late morning actually. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to really record anything today. I made a major rookie mistake. So let me tell you about it. I crawled into my tent and into bed last night and started getting ready to go to sleep, and reached over to plug my phone into my battery, and I didn't have it. I left it at home. I still got a messenger app, or the Garmin Messenger, that I could use to stay in communication with Ms. Tie-Dye. But dang, I left a major piece of gear at home. What a rookie mistake. Now I have a saint and an angel for a wife, and she actually brought it to me. Met me coming off the hill at 19E, and gave me my power cord. So big rookie mistake number one: always make sure you've got your gear before you leave. Also had another rookie mistake. My plan was to filter water and then treat it because of all the norovirus in the area. And so I sat down to filter my first water resupply yesterday, and my filter wouldn't work. I couldn't get any water out of my filter. So thank goodness I had the chemical treatment little tablets. So another rookie mistake: you better test that gear before you leave the house. So anyway, well, that's why I'm doing this, to figure this stuff out and make sure I know what to do. Had a really good night last night. Staying at Doll Flats. Was woken up in the middle of the night with a bunch of noise down in the woods. This is kind of a funny story. Started hearing something rustling around off the edge of the hillside down in the woods, and I was thinking, gee, what kind of animal is that this time of night rummaging around? And it would rummage around and I'd hear it, and then I'd slowly start going to sleep again, and then about 10 or 15 minutes I'd hear it again. So that went on for about an hour or so, and then all of a sudden there was a big crack. I was thinking, oh dear, there are very few animals in this woods. There are very few animals in the woods here that can make that kind of noise. A bear and a human. So I was thinking, oh dear, there's a bear down there. There's a bear down there. And I was pretty comfortable with my bear hang. I thought I did a pretty good job of it. But I knew that was a pretty popular camping area. And it might be on some routine. A bear likes to come in and check it out because there's so many people that camp there. So about 3 o'clock, I decided, had enough of listening to those noises and wondering. So I put my headlamp on and went out to check it out. And I went right to the edge of the camping area and peered down into the woods. And sure enough, there were 3 sets of eyes staring back at me. And my first thought was, oh no, you've done it now. That's a mother bear and her cubs. I'm doomed. I've disrupted a mother bear. So I flicked on my headlamp to high beams, and it was 3 deer. I had no idea deer could make that much noise in the woods. Aren't they supposed to be bedded down or something in the middle of the night? Anyway, got back in the tent and easily went back to sleep, having resolved that noise to being awoken at 6:45 by my alarm clock. Now, it wasn't the alarm clock on my phone because I'd had it powered off, saving battery. It was the turkeys. I woke up at 6:45 to gobble, 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 gobble. Gobble, 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 gobble. What a great alarm clock. What an awesome way to start my day. All right, I am heading to Elk River, where I plan to spend the night tonight. It's a short day today, about 10 miles. I'm currently in what's called Bishop's Hollow. It's listed as just a meadow and far out, but it's called Bishop's Hollow. All right, I think I'll close out tonight. It's the end of the day, second day. It was a 10-mile day, and left Doll Flats and ended up at along Elk River. The rained on me pretty hard coming into Elk River, and I got my tent set up, and then of course it it rains some more. So it was a good test of my tent in the rain and how I can get it up quickly. And I need to concentrate on making sure I'm in the video. Anyway, good day. 10 miles. Tomorrow I'm going to Moreland Gap Shelter. I think that's about 12 miles or so. Have a good night. Greetings and good morning. It's day 3 of my 4-day shakedown hike. I tell you what, the goal here is to come test out my gear and make sure I understand how to use it all before I hit the trail in February. And boy, I got that experience last night and this morning. It rained and rained and rained yesterday afternoon, last night, and then again this morning. So I'm packing out a wet tent and some other wet items, and everything is certainly damp. So good trial run here. So I spent the night at along the Elk River, mile 401.8. I actually got a great night's sleep. The frogs were so loud, it drowned out any other possible noise. So every little noise I heard in the woods, I didn't think it was a bear coming to eat me. So thank you, frogs, for giving me a good night's sleep. Today, my goal is to make it to Moreland Gap Shelter. It's around a 12-mile hike. Hopefully somewhere along the way I can dry out some of my gear. If not, I guess it gets dried up when I set it up this afternoon at Moreland Gap. I don't think it's too bad of a climb. There's a little bit of a climb between here and there. I don't think it's too bad. I've hiked it before a couple times, so but I haven't hiked it with a backpack on. So hope you're having a great day. We'll talk to you later. Well, I hope you can hear this with all the noise. I decided to have breakfast this morning at the Splash Dam Falls. It's just below where I was camping out. It's mile 402.4. It's not marked, it's not blue blades, you gotta know it's here. But this is an incredible place to hang out and have maybe lunch, or in my case, breakfast. I'm enjoying a delicious granola bar that Miss Tie-Dye brought me yesterday when she dropped off my power cord. It's just beautiful here. So I mentioned there were two things I had big question marks about on my gear. One of them is my most important piece of gear, and that's my shoes. I have been a loyal Saucony fan for decades. I love their shoes to run in. They have wide toe boxes, and they've been very effective for me. I got and in around 2019, 2020, I decided I needed some trail runners to hike in, not boots, because those boots get heavy after 10, 15 miles. So I got a pair of Peregrines, and I just loved them. They were awesome. I need a wide toe box, and they had wide toe boxes. I bet I got 1,000 miles on those shoes. Now, they weren't backpacking miles, but they were, you know, during COVID, we were walking around the neighborhood, Greenbelt, hiking on the day hikes on the Appalachian Trail. Love those shoes. Got a second pair. Those were just as good too. But they changed their design somewhere around 21 or 22, and the wide shoes were no longer wide. The toe boxes were no longer wide, and so I tried two different pair, and they just weren't working out. It says wide on the shoe, but it's not a wide shoe. So I noticed a lot of hikers were using the Ultra Lone Peaks. So I ordered a pair of Ultra Lone Peak 8s, and they're doing great. They're doing great. I've probably got about 50 backpack miles on it, on those shoes, and I like them a lot. Very wide toe box. I ordered, I think, the double wide, maybe. And it may be too wide. I might need to scale back a little bit. But they feel good, not having any blister problems. Very happy with them. So my only concern with my shoes, though, is the durability of these things. I can't have a hiking shoe that blows out every 200 miles, and I see that a lot on some of the hikers having problems with their Lone Peak 8s. Kind of wearing out pretty quick. So anyway, that's my big concern there. Would they work, and would they be durable? So far, my answer is yes, but I'm a big question mark about the durability. Also, you might notice my socks. I'm wearing right, spelled with a W, right socks. They're double layers. It's what I jog in, and I've used these for many years. Been very effective for jogging. So I wear them when I hike. Now they do wear out pretty quickly. You know, after about, I don't know, 100 miles, you need a different pair of socks. So I've got right socks with me on this trip, and I've also got a pair of Darn Toughs. The Darn Toughs have been very successful for me as well. So I don't know which ones I'll carry on my hike in February. Maybe both, because I like them both. Anyway, that's the first piece of gear that I've got a big question mark about. My shoes. Seem to be pleased with them so far this trip, and that's maybe where I'm leaning. I also have a big question mark about my sleep system, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. It's time for me to go finish my delicious granola bar from Smoky Mountain Bakery. I found a bench to sit on. I think I'll rest a few minutes. Check out this view from the bench. All right, so the prominent mountain there is Big Hump. I came over that 2 days ago. And then Little Hump right over there. Little Hump, Big Hump. Beautiful view. Greetings, good morning. It's day 4 of my 4-day shakedown hike. I didn't get to close out yesterday because I got to Moreland Gap Shelter and looked around, and I didn't like any of the campsites. There was too much dead wood in the trees above me, so I ended up staying in the shelter. And people came in, and I didn't feel like interrupting them with my video. Anyway, so it was a good 12-mile hike yesterday. It didn't rain on me, and made it into Moreland Gap Shelter and grabbed a spot inside the shelter. And ultimately, only one other person stayed there, but there were several people tenting there. And it's a good night. Got a good night's sleep. The mice didn't bother me, although I heard them scrambling around. Haven't seen any holes in my gear. Today, I've got just a 10-mile hike down to Laurel Fork Falls, where I'm going to meet up with Ms. Tie-Dye. She's going to take me into Elizabethton for some barbecue, and I'll probably have another video to kind of wrap up all my different learnings from the trip. It's been really good. I've learned a lot and need to think about some of my gear. I mentioned my shoes yesterday. The other big question mark in my gear is my sleep system. It's just, I love it. I sleep great on it. Oh, I sleep so good with my my pad and my my bag, but it's just too big. They're too big. It's a 78-inch pad and bag, and I don't need 78. I think the next size down is 72. That's more appropriate for me. And probably need go. I like the quilt type bag instead of the mummy style bag, but it's an awful lot more material for me to manage and deal with, and so I'm probably gonna have to get a different bag. But let's see, my bag is an Echo Park. It's a Big Agnes Echo Park, which is really a camping bag, not a hiking bag, but golly, I sleep really good in it, so that's an interesting trade-off for me to think about. All right, heading down to Laurel Fork Falls. I guess I'll go ahead and close out here too. It's been an awesome 4 days. I'm really glad I did it. I need to do it some more. I learned an awful lot. A good test of my gear. I'll probably do a follow-up video, just kind of share what I learned. And some of the other pieces of equipment I think I probably need to look for. Hope you enjoyed my experience. See you in the next video.